All right, guys, I'll call our special meeting to order at 6 p.m., May 14th, 2026. We do have a quorum tonight with Kyle, Jaden, myself, and Bob present. So we can move right into the agenda. So new business number one, that's presentation and discussion of preferred charges against Tioga Chief of Police Helene. I'll give you a 10,000-foot overview of my understanding of our current situation, our predicament, and then at the conclusion of that, Jaden will run through a prepared document, and then we'll entertain either a motion to approve, deny, or modify what he has to talk about. So really where we're at is, hey guys,
Bob sucks.
on the Teams meeting, guys, if you would mute your mics unless called upon. Okay, as I was saying, for the entirety of this week, our scheduled shifts that were to be covered by Chief Helene have not been covered. There was a scheduled work night on Monday, scheduled work night on Tuesday. Have not heard from Cody Wednesday or Thursday. So for the entirety of this week, it's essentially been a no-call, no-show. I have not heard notification from Chief Helene that he wouldn't be at work. Don't believe Bob has received any notification that Chief Helene would be at work. Given the gravity of his position, I mean, and I've said it a number of times, like this commission's sole number one job is to keep this community safe. And when you have your leader of that department, the police department, which is tasked with community safety, no call, no show, that really leaves you in a vulnerable position. It leaves you in a situation that is totally inexcusable. Furthermore, I'm under the understanding that for the Monday night shift, Chief Helene clocked into work as if he was at work. After reviewing some footage and doing some investigation, it turns out that he was never at work in the first place. So on top of the no call, no show, we've got
Hey, Wendy, you muted the mic. I can't hear anything.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, I apologize. I don't know where you guys left off. We do have, this will be recorded. You'll be able to hear that. We've got a recording here on a handheld device as well if you want to refer, but like I said, Jaden, he has a document that he'll run through, and again, at the conclusion of that, I'll entertain a motion to either approve, deny, or modify what you have there.
We, the Tioga City Commission, hereby issue the following preferred charges against Cody Helene, Tioga Police Chief, in connection with NDCC 40-15-07, and assert that a removal hearing is appropriate and necessary in light of the preferred charges so issued. Exhibit A, Tioga City Chief of Police Cody Helene is alleged to have committed a violation or violations of Chapter 1, Article 5, subsection 1.0504 of the Tioga City ordinances, to wit, 1, that in near or during the week of May 11th, 2026, without communication to the police commissioner, the commission president, or any other supervising commissioner or member of the commission body, Chief of Police Helene, while scheduled to be on shift, did not appear and work his shift. This unauthorized absenteeism has been repeat in nature of late and specifically occurred on May 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, 2026. 2, that during the same period of time on information and belief and without communication to nor permission from the police commissioner or commission president, Chief of Police Helene functionally abandoned his post at the City of Tioga Police Department. 3, that both Police Commissioner Bob Fusen and City Auditor Wendy Lenzen have attempted to establish contact with Chief Helene in the days leading up to this meeting as a result of the absenteeism. Such recent attempts to contact Chief Helene have been to no avail. Contact with Chief Helene's mother was briefly established. As of the date and time of this meeting, no member of the commission or other supervisory staff in the city has been advised by Chief Helene of the precise reasons or basis for his absence and abandonment of office. There is no clear plan as to whom and how the responsibilities of Chief Helene will be handled in his absence. There is no information allowing the commission to understand the anticipated length of his present absence. 4, taken together, all of these realities leave the Tioga Police Department functionally without their appointed official in this situation, interrupts the existence of a clear chain of command for the police force, and the chief's absenteeism leaves the department short-staffed without any reliable knowledge or information as to when and how these impairments may be repaired or corrected. 5, it is unacceptable that there has been a total lack of communication from Chief Helene regarding his unexplained and serial absences from appointed office, especially given that the Tioga Police Department provides emergency services to the community, oversees security and safety policies for the city, and given that the Chief of Police is charged with law enforcement activities on behalf of the City of Tioga in general and consistent with local ordinances. B, Tioga City Chief of Police Cody Helene is alleged to have committed a violation or violations of Chapter 1, Article 5, subsection 1.0604 of the City of Tioga ordinances, to wit, that in the period of unexplained absenteeism described immediately above, Chief Helene did fail to meet the requirements of Chapter 1, Article 5, subsection 1.0604, which reads verbatim as follows. 1, perform all duties required to his office by law or ordinance and such other duties not in conflict as may be required by the governing body. 2, be immediately responsible to the governing body for the effective administration of their departments and all activities assigned thereout. 3, keep informed as to the latest practices in this particular field and shall inaugurate with approval of the governing body such new practices as appear to be of benefit to the service and to the public. 4, submit such reports of activities of his department as the governing body or the governing board may request. Be responsible for the proper maintenance of all city property and equipment used in his department. 5, establish and maintain records of sufficient detail to furnish all information needed for proper control of department activities and to form a basis for reports to the governing board. 6, cooperate with other officers, departments, and employees. 7, have power to direct and supervise all subordinates under him. Specifically, Chief Helene's unexplained, unnoticed, and uncommunicated absence effectively renders him incapable of performing any of the duties above and leaves his department rudderless without sufficient leadership or an interim plan allowing for such leadership to ensure compliance with duties during his period of absence, whatever they may be. Therefore, Chief Helene is derelict in his duties as officer under the Tioga City ordinances. Moreover, a review of video footage and time carding materials have revealed that during the period of absenteeism described immediately above, Chief Helene clocked into work using the city's payroll program. However, Chief Helene never actually appeared at work as represented on his time card. Due to the fact that Chief Helene failed to enter his clock out time on that date and was therefore reached by a member of the city to ascertain whether he was still at work or brief inquiry assured. Chief Helene's wholesale absence from work was confirmed. Accordingly, Chief Helene, on at least one occasion, was not only inexplicably absent, but was also billing the city for time in office for which he was certainly not serving the city. This is likewise unacceptable, violates the trust and duties of Chief Helene has to the city and constituents. Another basis for removal when taken together with the other standing charges above.
All right, thanks, Jaden. As I said to preface that, I'll entertain a motion to approve, deny, or modify the preferred charges that Jaden just described, and then absolutely would open up for discussion afterwards.
I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we got a motion, a second to approve the preferred charges as written. Let's open it up for discussion. Kyle, your motion, you can start.
Well, regarding the absenteeism, still not sure what's all going on. We have a duty to be responsible for the city, citizens, the safety, well-being of everyone. Being chief of police, you have to take on that responsibility and just let people know what's going on.
Wendy, the mic is muted again. I apologize. Oh, never mind. It's back. Thank you.
As far as his mom calling, I believe she called Bob, and not sure any others, but okay. But regarding that, I feel that Cody still needs to be in contact with his commission. So I do believe that everything that was stated and read is correct.
Well, the absence is just unacceptable, especially without letting anybody know. So for a few days, effectively, almost all week, there hasn't been somebody on duty, and that's a pretty big deal because you know, could be emergencies that need responding to and crimes being committed, and does not ensure the safety of the community. So it's unacceptable.
Fortunately, we didn't have any real serious incidences while this was all going on. But we all know we depend on our police, especially our chief, to do what he's delegated to do, and to if he said he's there, he should be there. There shouldn't be any lying going on. Anyhow, he left us wide open with no representation for the police department for at least 2 nights and probably more. And I just find that that's just unacceptable. And anyhow, I agree with everything that was written.
I don't see Commissioner Dye on the team's meeting, so I guess I'll finish up, I'll round us out. I'll tell you guys, I'm struggling awfully bad with this one. I feel like Cody and I are very close. We're very tight knit. We share a vision on the public safety of this town. To find out that this has been a no call, no show situation for days, I thought at the very minimum, he would have at least shot me a text or called me or something. I mean, you run through so many different things through your head, like, this isn't normal. Is he okay? Do we need to reach out? Like, let's turn every stone over and find out what's going on. Like, that's where I first go to, especially with people that I care about, like, indefinitely. I don't know, because I haven't heard from Cody directly still to this point, but I've heard from other people on the outside that seems like he's okay. Not in the area, definitely no intention of coming back to work tomorrow, I know that. So I'm just really troubled. Like I said, I'm struggling with this whole dynamic right now because you start thinking about your friend, you start thinking about your coworker, but ultimately it leads you to, I'm thinking about this city. And to find out that there was such a huge level of vulnerability for those days of not having coverage when we thought we had coverage. Like, what if there was an emergent event? Everybody knows what's going on today. We've got crazy wind, we've had fires. Situations is like that is when you want the strength of your chief of police present. And then to find out that that just wasn't in the cards because it was a one-sided interaction. No, you can't. Let me finish what I gotta say and then,
Very sorry.
it's okay. That's why I'm struggling so bad, is just knowing that we had such a gaping hole of vulnerability for the city. I'm not okay with that. I don't like it. I don't think any of us like that. You gotta separate personal appreciation for somebody and keep it strictly professional when it's in a professional environment like this. Like, we are dependent upon keeping the community as safe as possible. And you can't do that when your chief of police has gone missing, a no call, no show. So I also, I mean, the summary of preferred charges, I agree with them 100%. Okay, any other discussion on that, guys? Good, okay. But we still have that motion in a second to approve the charges as written.
Does the board get to discuss?
I would really like to say something.
Few people that do. Yeah.
Well, can we allow the commission, this is a commission decision. I'll let you all know that this motion is being taken pursuant to NDCC 4015-07. Only this board and this board alone has the right to temporarily suspend and later hear a potential removal. I know the board's deeply interested in the community's response, but I would like to ensure that the board functions in compliance with the statute and then hears the community's response. And I would also like to ensure that Chief Helene has all available process, which means that we follow the law to the letter. So I would like you to finish your motions process, and then if you wish to hear the community, that would be fine, but please finish your motions process.
Okay, guys, again, we got a motion and a second to approve the preferred charges as written. We've had our discussion. Let's vote.
Yes.
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 And yes, motion carries. All right, so on to agenda item number 2. It's to schedule a notice of removal hearing for the appointed official. Per North Dakota Century Code 40-15-07.
And again, you're not gonna hear anybody from the board discussing on what you just did.
We approved the preferred charges.
And people were wanting to maybe discuss your charges before you approved them.
Well, why don't you allow them to get through the balance of the agenda so you can appreciate the process? Because this isn't a determination of guilt or innocence. This is the opportunity for the commission to determine whether a charge is appropriate so that Cody can have the opportunity to appear at a hearing and give further testimony. And it's up to the board whether they open the floor later. But in the interest of Mr. Helene, the board, and the community, this process needs to be followed because it's a process under the North Dakota Century Code. Please proceed.
All right, so again, per North Dakota Century Code 40-1507, appointed officers, I'll just read it for you guys. Appointed officers, removal upon hearing, suspension, appointment, and removal of temporary officer. So any person appointed to an office of a city operating under the commission system of government and any employee of the city may be removed by a majority vote of all members of the Board of City Commissioners, but no officer or employee shall be removed except for cause and unless charges are preferred against the person and the person is accorded an opportunity to be heard in the person's own defense. Within 10 days after charges are filed against any such person in the office of the city auditor, the board shall proceed to hear and determine the case upon its merits. The president of the board of the city commissioners or the board by a majority vote of its members may suspend or any officer or employee against whom charges have been preferred upon until the deposition or disposition of the charges. The president may appoint a person to fill a vacancy temporarily until charges against the incumbent of such office have been disposed of. Any person appointed by the president without confirmation may be removed by the president when the president deems it is in the best interest of the city. So, guys, we need to schedule and notice a removal hearing. Yep, within 10 days.
I think probably should be May 21st or 22nd.
First work for you, Brett?
May 1st to work.
I'll make a motion to set the date for, May 21st,
Time in mind.
6 PM.
I'll second that.
All right, we got a motion and a second to schedule a notice for a removal hearing for Chief Helene, May 21st, 6 PM. Any discussion on the date? All right, let's vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
And yes, motion carries. Liz, procedurally, as far as where we're at right now, there's gotta be a suspension, correct?
Yeah, you would entertain a motion to suspend, determine whether that suspension should be with or without pay pending the hearing. And then if there is it's determined to be appropriate that a suspension occurs, you're also going to have to appoint an acting chief for that period of time.
I guess I'll make a motion to suspend Chief Helene with pay until the removal hearing can be completed.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion, a second to suspend Chief Helene with pay until the removal hearing can be completed May 21st at 6 p.m. Any discussion on that? All right, so,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
and yes, motion carries. And then lastly, appointment of acting chief of police, guys, we need to have somebody in that role that is actively working that role. So do you have any thoughts on who you would like to appoint on a interim basis?
But just based off of the structure we already got, Nick is supposed to take second in command, so that would probably be most appropriate. I'll make a motion to appoint, Nick Oster as interim chief.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Nick Oster as acting interim chief. Any discussion on that? Okay, let's vote.
I guess the only question I have is, Nick, would you be able to come forward, please? Are you willing to take this responsibility on?
Gonna get paid better for it. I don't mean to sound like a jerk. I meant that fairly. I mean, being in charge is a lot. I'd like to be compensated if that's available. I know Bob and Cody were talking about possibly promoting me already, so that's something we can.
Okay, so structurally, the way we have it set up, we have no policy or procedure to pay people above their current
No,
wage on an interim basis.
That's why I was gonna ask.
Has in the past. Well, it's about here's what I'll say, and I don't want you to take this as a policy directive, but maybe take it as a practical directive. You, at the moment at least, would be acting chief of police for a period of approximately 7 days, 10 days, 10, I don't know. I'm terrible about under 10 days, because the hearings to occur on the 21st and it's 7 days. Today's the 14th. That would be an awful lot of paperwork administratively to accomplish. Certainly, I think the commission can review that decision later, but I would really like not to do a discussion of HR protocol on a 7-day raise at an emergency hearing. I think that's poor form. So, but that's up to you guys. And your question's fair, Nick. I'm not.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just, it is a lot of work. And if it so happens to be that more than 7 days, I don't want to be, I don't know a better word, but screwed out of the hours I put in. I am more than willing to do it. You guys know that. I will always step in for Cody. Always. So it's just a question.
No, I appreciate the question. I guess if is that something that we can look at and possibly back pay if we choose to go that route?
I think you can table the question, maybe just not decide that particular piece. Why don't you table it, subject to research? I'm sure that there's a way to compensate that if it becomes appropriate after investigation to do so, but you really are talking about a 7-day window at the moment, because this is set for hearing on the 21st. And we're not making any prejudgments about the outcome of that hearing or what may follow until we have that hearing or something else develops.
Okay, let me just give my 2 cents on this, and I appreciate your willingness to step in, step up for us. Like I said, we're in a vulnerable spot right now. Just you being willing to fill that role for us is huge. I totally understand that government and especially policing is a different dynamic than my professional work life. But I also know that, like, when, say, my bosses get sick or my boss needs to go on vacation or something happens where he is just totally unavailable, I just step up and do the job because that's my job.
I have done that.
I don't expect
And that's
additional
why I'm
pay.
just, I was just asking because of, it's a different circumstance than him just being on vacation where I have stepped up and helped. And like she said, you know, we can table it for now. It is only 7 days. I just figured I'd bring that forward because I won't want to do it longer than that if not.
Okay,
But I got a family.
Well, I would like to table the wage pay until later, and we can readdress that.
And for the 7 days to 10 days, I will, after that, we'll have to rediscuss.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
great. Any other discussion on that, or are we back to the vote?
Yes,
We did, we got close, Jaden.
Yes.
Yes,
And yes, motion carries. Hey, guys, what are your thoughts? Do you want to open it up for a very brief period of discussion? I think, I mean, people are here.
yeah.
I'll tell you guys, we do have to keep a level of decorum though. I could, like I said, this is a difficult night for me. I'm sure there's a lot of difficulties going on with all of you guys right now. I do expect that the decorum and professionalism stays on point. Time wise, if somebody wants to come up and talk, what do we want to do? Couple, 2-3 minutes? Okay. Darcy, please.
I was asked by Cody's mom, did you guys not receive the FMLA paperwork that was faxed to the city?
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna comment on whether or not we have FML paperwork because that's an HR issue and I don't discuss HR issues.
That's why I was looking at Wendy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what I'll tell you is that at the time that the preferred charges were drafted and at the time the meeting notice was drafted, we had zero communication. And I think as we sit here today, actually, have had zero communication at this
Yeah.
moment from Cody.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
No,
comment on what may or may not.
she just asked me if you guys got the paperwork. That was it. That's all I was asking to ask.
That's a fair question. We can't answer it.
Come on.
This one.
Thomas Stafford, most everybody around town knows me as TJ. I just came to support Cody. I've never been a cop. I'm a combat vet. Dealt with a lot of stuff. Alcohol was one of them, PTSD, things like that. I've actually been in touch with Cody. I'm not saying it's right or wrong on y'all's communication there. I don't know. I hope that gets better. But I just want to stick up for Cody and say Cody's getting the help he needs, what he's doing right now, and which is beneficial to him, his family, and our community. I agree with what you said as far as if you have the same outlook for this community as Cody does, and absolutely, because I talk to him all the time. Cody is on a professional level and a personal level friend of mine. He's helped me out when I've been down. He's talked me out of a lot of crazy stuff. He's a great guy, but he's a heck of a chief. I mean, he cares about his guys. He cares about this community. Nobody in this town cares more of getting drugs, hard drugs and stuff out of this town than he does. He is an absolute fan of hating fentanyl, methamphetamine, things like that, that none of our kids need, none of this community needs. He's a big pusher on that, and he's done a lot. I don't know if y'all talk to Cody or read the papers, but man, he's busting ass, like really, like seriously. And I don't know how this outcome's going to go. I hope it's the best, not for individuals, but I hope it's the best for this community. I just don't see how this community can continue without Cody's leadership. And that's nothing to any of our cops, because y'all are all doing great jobs. I know for a fact y'all been shorthanded and pulling these stupid ass shifts, man, these 12, 14-hour shifts, excuse my language.
You're fine.
But I know what y'all been doing, man. I talk to you sometimes. I see you, man. I'll see you at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'll see you rolling into the station at 9 o'clock at night when I leave the gym, dude. Like all of y'all. And I get Cody's might have slipped up and like you said, you have the evidence of this and that. I understand that. I'm gonna make this brief, but Cody is getting help right now, the help that he needs. And I can't say it as a cop, but I know when you see so much stuff as a young individual, the further you get away from that stuff, the further it is. And I myself resorted to alcohol for years, and it took a long time to get sober. And I am now, and that's the best feeling outside of my wife and kids. That's the best feeling in the world. It's nice to go to AA and tell everybody, hey man, I got my 3-year coin today. I got this and that. And Cody's on that journey. So roll tide.
I do not miss that side. I'm just curious, FMLA was brought up, I'm hearing. And I'm also heard earlier that the mother contacted Bob. Is there some federal law that says that the parent cannot, or a family member cannot contact a commissioner?
I don't think anybody can contact a commissioner. I could have my dog pick up the phone and call Brett if she could talk. That would be just fine. That's not the issue, though. The issue is that, number one, a discussion of the alleged or existing medical realities of an employee or former employee of the city at a public meeting is entirely inappropriate. Secondly, I'm not willing to characterize whatever Darcy may have in her hands as an FMLA document. That's a legal conclusion. And there are statutes that control what amounts to FMLA leave. And thirdly, a phone call absent a document like a power of attorney from someone by phone purporting to be an adult man's mother and asking or conveying legal or medical information is not sufficient for the city to engage in a discussion. I mean, I would tell them that if they called me and said, hey, Brett's mom is on the phone, she wants to talk about a medical situation, I would say, have her ship a power of attorney. That's a legal issue. We're not going to go there without that. So that's the best answer I can suggest.
In a medical situation, I would totally get a power of attorney.
I like how you guys don't care about his health.
Yep.
The law.
No.
I got something to say too. I talked to Cody today. Wasn't that hard? He told me he had a little bit of a problem. He told me he came and talked to you about his problem. He told me he met resistance. This is probably why he left on Monday or went on the 11th and hasn't been heard from nobody's heard from him since. I think. When this commission starts looking about people's mental health, then we can work with it. But when they flat refuse to deal with him or talk to him about it or work with him about it, you need to be replaced.
Well, I want a chance to at least respond to that.
Okay.
Like I said, I feel like Cody and I are very close. We've had very, very many professional and personal conversations.
It hurts him. It hurts him big.
Mental health issues.
You want to know it took a lot for him just to be He's admitted that where the other guy go, it was just here a little bit ago. He's talked to him about it.
Mhm.
You've heard that twice now, from 2 different people, that he's got a problem and he's talked to somebody about it. If he came to you and you turned him down and met him there, bad feelings and told him to hell with him, basically, that's on you. It's no problem.
Did he reach out to you, Bob? Cody, at all on Monday?
Cody called me on the phone about half an hour after his shift was supposed to start. And we talked for 20, 30 minutes. And he said he had a problem and he needed help with it. And so now you're gonna fire him because he asked for help.
He told you that he had a problem, but everybody is saying that he didn't contact anybody. But you just said he contacted you. Did he tell you he was gonna call? Did he tell you he was drinking? What did he tell you? Because this seems like 2 completely different things going on.
Yeah.
You guys are saying he didn't contact anybody, no one's heard of him, no one on this commission has heard from him at all. But you just admitted he contacted you 30 minutes after his shift on Monday. So which is it?
Which is what?
It,
Did he contact you?
He did contact me after his shift started.
it certainly was not Monday though, because Monday we thought he was, Monday we thought he was at work and it turned out he wasn't at work at all. He was clocked in as, what's that? I'm just clarifying, it was, I keep hearing Monday, I know it wasn't Monday if they communicated.
I said Monday is the 11th is the day I'm thinking
Tuesday.
is when it
Okay,
was.
so.
I can't say exactly what day it was.
That is Monday.
Well, that may be an issue that needs to be
Yeah.
addressed
See,
at hearing, folks, and I would tell you, whether you believe it or not, all the remarks that you're making on his behalf, at that hearing, he's going to have to contend with them. I would not love that, because if the allegation were that I were not communicating with my bosses, but I was calling every other member of the community
Well,
to
just
talk
saying.
about it.
They just said they talked about it. If he called and talked to him and was met resistance by the commission, by the commission, he's not gonna call anybody else there.
So that just proves notification.
They didn't care for his problem.
We don't know that. That's why we're having a
Yeah,
hearing.
that- I thought they see he
Push
cared for his
people off.
problem.
Men's what up doesn't matter till after it happens.
I've been in.
I would like to say
Hey,
something,
guys,
Okay.
guys, hey, let Veronica talk.
because I fully agree with the former comment where you guys don't show great leadership sitting up here, because you don't have care and compassion for your employees. I never experienced it from any of you. Any of you. And I know with everything my family has had to deal with in the last couple of months, we never experienced it, period, from any of you at all. And everything that we had to go through with certain paperwork and documents and everything else that shouldn't have had to have even happened. You guys need to find a better policy. You need to fix what's going on internally, and it starts with all of you. You guys need to fix yourselves first and have a little more care and compassion for your employees. Otherwise, you're going to lose them all of them. Or you might not just be sitting up there for too long.
Can I ask a question? Can you guys hear me? Can I ask a question?
Who's ever online, yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so if there was no communication for the 3 or 4 days or however long it was this week, was there anybody on call? Does Williams County like aid in calls, or was there nobody taking calls, period? So if a emergent call came in, like nobody was taking the calls, or was there somebody, I don't know if you guys do like on call, like was there somebody on call? Does Williams County step in then if nobody's in, or was the city left high and dry?
I will let it be known that I was on call for Tuesday night. I was contacted by, I was contacted by Detective Oster, and he informed me that something was going on and that he asked me to be on call for the entirety of Tuesday night.
Were you scheduled to be on call or you had to fill in because?
I was asked to be, that is all I will say.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious if somebody was acting on call for any calls that would come in.
I just want to say, as someone, my name's Alicia Nelson. As someone who struggled with mental health issues, you guys have to take it seriously. If somebody calls you and say they're struggling, you got to document it and support them, not ostracize them. Say that you haven't communicated with them or spoken with them. Like, there needs to be more support. I feel like having a city meeting and ostracizing somebody who abandoned ship, but maybe it sounds like he clocked in and then he called you and was met with no support at all. So that back to my question, did he contact you or did he not?
He contacted me by phone after his shift started.
Okay, you said, so about 30 minutes after his shift, you said, when I was sitting back there and I asked.
Yeah.
So he did contact you. And what, did you tell him to go home? Did you tell him he needed to get help? Did you support him? I mean.
He never came to work.
That's not what we asked you. You didn't answer that question. What did you tell him?
Take your turn, will ya? Take your turn.
is a public comments session and I, again, you may not believe me, it doesn't matter to me. I've been through a lot of process. And I would tell you that this is not the appropriate forum to attempt to render findings of fact or take testimony. Number one, because as you might have noticed, Cody isn't here and he's a material party to this process. If I were Cody.
That's why the sounds like the fireman before he gets
It
here.
would be so pleasant if we could finish.
It'd be pleasant if anybody could finish without being interrupted, but that's not happening.
This is not the hearing. There's discussion. You can do your 2 minutes. I'd prefer that the commission just allow people to speak their piece, but we should not be conducting a hearing in a respondent's absence.
And I'm
That's
not
appropriate.
trying to conduct a hearing. I asked a question and I got the runaround multiple times. So I'm just asking a question that Bob cannot, one of the commissioners, the police commissioner cannot answer.
Guys, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion on that? Okay, let's vote.
Yes.
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 And yes, motion carries. We're adjourned at 6:46 PM.